tend to see the pro more. And what I've noticed when it's on location at Satellite Pinball Lounge in Fort Lauderdale, when we run those tournaments, that most players just have no clue. And so it's kind of good when you do have a clue, because they almost have no chance, right? And that's why we're doing this series of these 3 machines, because these are not linear in terms of the way you can play them. Some other machines are pretty linear, right? 1 or 2 strategies, that's all you need to know. Either you do it or you don't. So not too complex, but each of these has a lot going on, and a lot of ways to achieve what you want to achieve, like avoiding a strike or winning when you need to win, not being last if it's a fair strikes, etc. So with Game of Thrones, people aren't sure, like, okay, what house to pick, and I'm going to pick 4 different houses. But beyond that, what you do with each house and how you do it matters. And more than I'd say almost anything else is what house I particularly pick, because I'll pick typically one of 3 houses, but I'm going to play 4 different ones, is one of those 3, it depends on who I'm playing. Now, as a tournament player, I used to look at who I'm playing in my group, right? You look, now I feel like I've gotten far enough where I don't worry about that as much. But on this game, I do pay attention to it, because I want to know what I judge their level of understanding of the game and their level of skill. And then that's going to dictate which house I pick. If I'm playing Eric Stone, I'm picking Targaryen. Because if I can get to where I want to get to, he's not likely to win, but I have to accomplish what I want to accomplish, which is usually getting to Iron Throne, which is the main wizard mode. If I'm playing certain other players that are...
Who you picking if you play Omar Soke?
I'm picking Baratheon. And so I'll explain all that when I get up to the machine. So, who's this tutorial for? If you're tired of losing on Game of Thrones and you want to win more consistency, then that's then that's who it's for. Who it's not for, this isn't a quick basic tutorial. Some of these slides are the same as what we've done in the other 2 machines. So bear with me. Basically, if you're looking for the quick, easy, strategies and stuff, you'll pick up a few things here, but that's not what this is about. This is about, like, if the basics and you really want to play better on this game and basically win more consistently, then that's who it's for. Pros like Escher, Lefkoff, and Jason Zahler, they probably got this down quite well. I know Escher does. But there are, like I said, in the others, there are some top players who don't learn every little strategy and rule, or just stick with the same, say, house. Even with Star Wars, at the Pinball at the Beach, there were players doing the Leia strategy instead of Han. And so there's some nuances to that, and there's times when you would use it and times when you wouldn't use it. So... ways to win a competitive pinball match, right? So I mentioned that in the others. If you've seen them, if not, you're seeing this for the first time. Well, number 1, superior skill, right? If you got shot accuracy and flipper skills and good reflexes and nudging and keeping the ball in play, that's one way to really do well. The next is superior game strategy and knowledge. 3, superior situational play. And 4, superior luck, which we really don't want to rely on, but we'll take it. But as I've said, there's certainly a lot of highly skilled players better than me. So what I've always done is relied on my game strategy and knowledge and situational play. And I didn't mention it in the others, but the reason why I've focused on rules is I played Jeff Palmer in Florida 4 years ago, and we were playing Walking Dead. And so I'm bashing the ball around and playing for a couple minutes, and I end the ball and I'm feeling pretty good. He steps up, he nails the drops, he starts barring, and literally in like 30 seconds, he's got 3 times, 4 times my score, just like that. And I said, that point, I said, you know what? I need to learn the rules. I'm not letting that ever happen again. So that's where the value is of these tutorials, is helping you find an edge where you might not think you have an edge, or you think you're at a disadvantage to other players. So why Game of Thrones? Like I said, a lot of these other games are more straightforward, and there's a lot going on in terms of the houses and how you go about it. So I do just find a lot of people do not feel comfortable on this game. And again, it's more complex than a lot of other games, especially with the paths you can take. So we wanted to do this because we think it's, you know, a good game for you to really learn how to be consistent in it. So what I've been doing is this as a tutorial 4-player match play simulation. So I'll put up 4 players, and it's all as if I'm in a tournament, and I'm controlling all 4 players. I'm playing, I'm explaining every decision in excruciating detail based on the score I have, the game progress, and the player's perceived skill level. So it's not only score and progress that I have, but in relation to the other players, just like if you're in a strikes or match play tournament. And I do recommend, as you play on location or at home on your own machines, to do 4 players, because you're going to find like you're trying to beat yourself on every player, and the way you think about the game does improve in terms of your results, because you're strategizing more about how to accomplish what you need to beat the other players. So this is a lot of detail on why to choose a particular house and what the scoring potential of them is, and then the ease of difficulty in achieving a particular score. We're going to talk about stacking modes with multi-ball and other details. So this isn't for brand new players. It's a lot of detail, but so I don't really get into a big explanation of playfield. Bowen did a great tutorial on Game of Thrones, so I'm not looking to replicate a lot of that stuff. I'm just looking to say, okay, if you're in the tournaments, how do you approach the game in a way that's going to help you win? And like I said, very detailed, and if you master this, it'll be, as for me, Game of Thrones is one of my go-tos. So if I have game position or choice in the finals, I'm looking for Game of Thrones, I'm looking for Rush, I'm looking for Avengers Infinity Quest, all 3 of these that we've done in this series so far, simply because I feel I have the most edge of any game in the place over almost every other player, if not every player. So what are the skills in terms of prerequisites for Game of Thrones? So bounce passing, trapping, post passing is really critical on this, because it usually allows you to post pass, and one shot is more safe than the other in terms of left flipper, right flipper, and then live catching or drop catching. But you really want to be able to post pass and then be able to trap up the ball. So the key concepts, we're going to talk about houses, which is what you choose, also the shots involved. Short plunging is like, to me, so many players don't short plunge on this game, and by short plunging, the ball save does not start. So you can let it drain 20 times until you get control, and that's even in the middle of the game, or ball I should say. So short plunging is literally a difference maker when it comes to this game, but not everyone knows that you don't, as long as you don't activate a switch, the ball save doesn't start. So it allows you more, it's more forgiving in terms of you needing to hit a shot before the ball save runs out. Modes, multi-ball, and the lockdown bar button is very important, and doing things in the right order. So the key shots, you want to learn where that short plunge is. You need to get that center ramp shot because it's critical for starting modes on the Pro. It's the Lannister house shot, and it's used for Stark in terms of building value. Tyrell targets are on the right. They're relatively dangerous, but they like the locks. So it's a pretty late shot from the left flipper, or you can ricochet off the drops from the right flipper, and that's really much more safe, and you're getting kind of a 2-for-1. So those are the key shots, along with the dragon shot, which is really the most difficult shot in the game. It does give you mystery, but no one usually shoots for mystery, but it's needed for wall multi-ball, and that becomes important if you can qualify it. So knowing which of these to do and when to do them will help you skyrocket your results. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. So I don't know if you can hear the music,
That's
but
glare. Omar. Yeah, the space is really dark and we got glare on the play field.
so they're gonna make a little adjustment as I speak here. You've got to decide which house you want. The 4 houses that I'm gonna choose are Martel, because most people like to choose that, and it gives you the add-a-ball ability. And Omar is gonna go ahead and
Poke Vince's eye out.
make some adjustments here while I'm speaking. So let's see. There's Martel, but that just gives you an add-a-ball, and a lot of people do it, but I don't use it at all. I don't use this house at all. I never choose it because number one, yeah, you get the add-a-ball by using the lockdown bar button for every multi-ball. Usually you're in 1, maybe 2 multi-balls in most cases. Sometimes you could get 3. You can go ahead and get the Blackwater multi-ball twice, but the ball save's pretty short when you do add a ball. So I don't find it to be as valuable, and so I normally don't choose it. If I'm playing players that are, earlier Omar's like, what do you pick when you play against me? Or Frank said, what do you do if you play against Omar? I'm like, I'm picking Baratheon. So Baratheon, you can get over $1 billion, but it's the safest house to choose in my experience. And the reason is the lockdown bar button is going to give you Lord of Light, which is the ball save on both outlanes. In addition, all houses, if you hit these left drop targets down, you get 1 time at that, and it will light the outlanes for the ball save. So think about it. You do that once, and then once per ball with Baratheon, you can use the ball save for the outlanes. That's like 4 extra balls. It's certainly giving you 3 more than everybody else. The other thing what it does is it's going to give you 2 advances toward wall multi-ball, so it makes it much easier to get that second multi-ball. And the way you qualify that is the top 2 lanes at the top of the playfield. When you plunge, and if you full plunge up there, you're getting like $1 million. That's why short plunge is important, because you're not getting much. $1 million's nothing in this game. And then when you do, it's not advancing the wall, as you'll see. It won't give you an advancement if you're getting it on the plunge as a skill shot. So there's no real value to not short plunge. So that's Baratheon. Greyjoy is what I'm going to be playing. I play it the most. I find it the most challenging and fun. What it's going to do is it's going to give me the first house, Greyjoy. It's going to spot it, and then I'm going to go in a very specific order. And if all goes according to plan, I will get to Hand of the King, and I have the ability to get like pretty big shot, 300, 400, 500 million shot on the super jackpot, but not easy to get there in terms of inside Hand of the King, but it's going to give me a lot of scoring opportunities. And if I was playing like a really, really top player that I know can really blow it up, go to Targaryen, because Targaryen's going to give me the ability I find easiest. Number one, it's the hardest house. You've got like three waves of it. It's very tough to complete, but it's going to give me the biggest chance to get to Iron Throne, which is the main wizard mode. So that's where you go from, you get to Iron Throne, you're going from 2 million on up to 2 billion on up to 10 billion. So it's very hard for anyone to catch you if you get to Iron Throne in any house, but I find Targaryen to be the one that most likely to do that. One thing on all these tutorials, there's a big benefit on these kind of games of going as player 4 or 3 later, because you're able to make a lot of decisions situationally based on everyone else. When you're playing early, you have to, it's harder to know what's happening after you, right? So it's always a thing to decide is, do you want game or position? And if you think someone's going to pick your game, then a lot of these position might be the way to go, especially on these more complex games. So player 1, I'm going to pick I'll just go with Martel because that's what most people. Well, I'm not going to go with Martel because if I pick the game, I'm going to pick what I normally would pick, and so I'll just go with Greyjoy because that's again I'm trying to simulate a tournament. So I got first pick. It's finals. I'm the high seed, for example. I get to pick this game. I'm picking it, and then I'm going to probably pick Greyjoy. I might pick Targaryen again, depends, but let me just do this as player 1. So I'm just going to short plunge and get control. If I don't get control, I'm going to drain, and I'll do it 20 times if I have to. Do not flip. Do not do any, just be patient. So I mentioned it in the Avengers tutorial. As the ball's coming down, if you're a newer player, instead of just holding the flipper up and letting the ball usually roll off the flipper, and when the ball's in the joint, as we say, you flip, it reverses the spin on it, adds a little friction, and usually can slow that ball down enough to get control. That's what you need for this game. You really should be controlled. The players who flail around, they've got almost no chance. If you're just flailing around all on the fly, unless you know exactly what you're trying to accomplish, you're not going to have good results. And if you've been playing this that way, you already know that. So now that I got control, and you can hear the music, maybe, but it's got a certain music. Once you hit a few switches or major switch, like if I hit a sling, it's still fine. You need like 3 switches or something. And then the music changes. That's how you can tell, and also you'll see the ball save on, assuming the game has ball save. All these tutorials I'm doing competition setting and just default settings. So what I want to do, and I typically will do, is go for these drop targets, because if you get those down, it's going to light the Lord of Light, which is the outlane ball save. When you do that and you drain down the middle, you lose those. So, but at least you're allowing yourself, I don't wait. I want to get that on ball 1 because I don't want to have the pressure on ball 2 and ball 3 if it would have went down one of these outlanes on ball 1. I want to get progress on ball 1. The other benefit, as soon as I hit that drop target, it usually is going to bank into the Terrell targets, which lights the lock. On standard competition default settings, you only need to hit 1 target. If the tournament has got everything set harder, you may have to hit both of those targets to light the lock. But you do have to light, then lock, light, then lock, light, then lock. And in Greyjoy, I don't want to start Blackwater until I'm ready, and I'll go through that now. So this is kind of, Greyjoy's probably the most, not probably, it's the most complex house to pick in terms of accomplishing the strategy, and it's a very set order of houses to maximize, not maximize, because there's 2 ways to do that, but there's one way that's really hard, but you could really do even bigger scores with it. But this is my standard. So I'm going to go for that, hit that, hopefully on the bank, and then I'm not going to be able to sweep this, but I'm going to try to get control and get that down, and then proceed with my strategy. So I've got lock lit. I want to hit this last target. It does tend to want to go over here into the out lane, and then I just kind of waste my time, but I've only got 1 left, and I got to just really on the late shot. But at least I've gotten that lock lit. So if you don't get Blackwater multi-ball on this game, you're probably in big trouble by the end. If you don't get it, you're probably going to be last. So you want to create a little insurance for yourself by at least getting the lock lit. And now once it's lit, it's again short plunging. You're definitely going to probably get it as long as you dial in that shot. So that brings up when you're practicing, if you have a short amount of time to practice before a tournament starts and you're playing this, you want to get that short plunge down, and you want to get that center shot down, especially on the right flipper. It's usually much easier to hit on the right than the left. Sometimes I'll post pass over from left to right. And so that shot is like the most important shot. You got to get that down and be able to repeat it. So I'm missing that. So I'll explain in a second. All right, so I'm missing that, so I'm not gonna worry about it right this second, even though I want to, because the slings will often hit it, so I'll just wait a minute. With Greyjoy, the first thing I do is get Martel. With Martel, what Greyjoy allows you to do is use the button ability of that house. So once I complete Martel, I'll be able to get the Add-a-Ball, just like as if I picked Martel. So I'm getting that ability anyway, which is another reason why I don't like picking Martel. From there, I'm going to use Martel, the Add-a-Ball, when I start multi-ball. I want to start the multi-ball Blackwater with Stark at the same time and use that multi-ball as a utility multi-ball to complete Stark. And then there's more to it than that, but I don't want to get into that until I get to it. So I'm just going to post pass over. I'm not worried about that lock right now. And I want to get Martel set up. So 3 shots, like a number of Sterns, like Attack from Mars and Stranger Things, similar. 3 shots will qualify the mode, and then I will start the mode up here. So I need one more for Martel, and it's ball 1, so I just want to get kind of some ducks in a row here. All right, missing. Uh-oh. So the other thing you want to do when you're testing or practicing on this machine is how is this feed? This feed is critical. How is this right orbit feed? If it's hitting the sling, you want to give it a nudge to get it get it away from the wall, toward the end of the wall there, and away from the sling. But if the tilt set too sensitive, you're going to get a danger. And you want to know that before you step up to the machine in the tournament. So you want to spend just a few minutes practicing, especially if there's like 20 games in the tournament. You definitely want to spend a few minutes on this one to figure that out. So my Martel's ready. Lock is ready. I'm not ready to do anything just yet because it's ball 1. So as soon as I hit that lock, I can pass, which I'm not going to do with this. A lot of these houses you want to pass so you can stack 2 modes with the multi-ball, but on Greyjoy you can only do 1. So you can't stack 2 modes on Greyjoy. So what I'm going to do is try to get Stark ready, because I got to do that anyway. So that's my next order of business right here. Oh, I'll take that. A little luck there. So as you can see, on a lot of these, you can backhand that Stark ramp, which is, and if you see sword, what that does is, the one thing people have trouble with is all these shots. There's 5 shots, and you see 1x all the way across. As you hit a shot, you light a combo, and then it increases the shot multiplier. And sword allows you to go from the 3 to 4 to 5 as the sword gets lit. So that allows that multiplier to be higher, which means 1 shot could be worth a lot more. I don't worry about those multipliers too much. It kind of just happens in the flow of things, and they time out. So I'm going to be having them time out a lot because I'll be trapping up in normal play, but also obviously in this tutorial. So I need 1 more for Stark, so I'm going to try to backhand that. And then when it comes around here, I need to figure out what I want to do with the ball. And hitting these, it won't allow me to stack the locks. So hitting another Terrell target to light the lock is irrelevant. It's not going to let me stack the lock. So when it does come around, I could try to go for that middle shot from the left. I'm not going to be able to post catch it. So at best, I think if I could ski pass it over, if it's going fast enough, great. If not, I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of bail out at the right orbit, but if I miss and hit that pick target, it's gonna be dangerous. Oh, I was able to post catch it. So, because I saw how slow it was going, I'm like, you know what, let me try to post catch it. So that's great. So now I'm gonna post pass over, and then I'm gonna start Martel. And here's the other benefit. This is really important. When I do that, I'm gonna short plunge because I've got the lock. There's no balls here. When there is a ball, you're not gonna get the plunge. And you gotta be ready for it coming down. But when there's no ball here, which is another benefit of being player one, I'm gonna short plunge it, and when I get control, if I don't get control, I just let it drain until I get control. So it's a form of ball save without ball save. And allows you to like really get control and aim up the shot and hit it. So you gotta be ready though, because it's gonna, number one, I'm gonna pick Martel, and as soon as I do, I've gotta short plunge it because it's gonna auto plunge when it kicks out. So I'm not flipping it. I can't get the control I want. All right, that's better. This is what you want to do. Notice how it was rolling up and it was tempting. And it was tempting for me to like make that shot. But I knew I'm probably going to miss way more than I'm going to hit what I want. Just let it drain, do it over until you get it. I don't care if it's 20 times. Rarely, but sometimes, especially if the game's inclined a lot, or they switch these flipper rubbers to like super bands or something, the live catch has to be perfect and it becomes very difficult, and a lot of times it'll bounce up and go in the out lane. So if you run into a situation where you can't get control, and this happened at Free Play Florida in the women's tournament a year ago, they had it on 2x4s, the Game of Thrones, and it was super difficult to get control of it from a short plunge. But if you let it bounce, it bounced over nicely and would like bounce, and then trap. So again, in practice, see how that feed is, see about maybe bouncing over and see if it'll trap here or here. Control is just so important in this game. So with Martel, what I want to do is get 3 hits. And then even if I don't get the final hit up the middle, it will still, if I drained, it will still give me Martel. All I need is 3 shots. The bad part is it's not going to remember the progress. So if I don't finish all 3 shots, I'll have to do the 3 shots again in the next ball. So I've got a choice. Do I post pass, because you can backhand that spinner very reliably, or do I go ahead and use the right flipper? I mean, the ball's not moving, so I'm pretty sure I'll be okay going this route. But the bad thing is I don't have Lord of Light lit. So if I miss and I drain, it's not going to be fun. But if I bobble this post pass, which I shouldn't do, I should be able to backhand that. And then you're going to get up there and it's going to come around and you want to get control and repeat it. Notice also, these are timed modes. See, 30 seconds. But with the short plunge, the clock's not ticking. So it's thinking the ball's still in the trough. So I'm not timing out the mode or anything yet, but as soon as I hit the switches, it will start the timer. And I got 30 seconds to make the 3 shots. 4 if I go up the middle for the final shot, which can be a nice payoff with Martel and the shot multipliers. All right. In the other AIQ, I mentioned what I'll mention right now. These are on sliders, this game, and on carpet. So you saw I only got 1 danger, which looked like a big move. But these are on sliders and on carpet. And so I did get a danger, but you're not going to normally be able to move the machine that far on in most on location places, especially if they put the rubber feet on there. It's really hard to move it, right? I probably didn't even need to do that, but again, I forget that it's on sliders, so I make the move and all of a sudden it moves farther than I wanted it to. So I got one shot, two more. All right, so one more. This is good. Notice I completed the lanes up there. There was one lane already lit. You want it to go in the unlit lane, and that's going to advance your wall multi-ball, which you start at the dragon. So if I could get another multi-ball in, that's great, right? So that's something to keep in mind as the ball's up there, is making sure that you're being mindful of those lanes. And as long as the shot's not too hard, it will go to those lanes. If this shot is hard, it will come around here. And then you don't want to flail, like hit this on the fly. When it comes around, try to live catch it. If you have to and you're not good at live catching, hold up the flipper, see what happens. And if that doesn't work, let it bounce over. If that doesn't work, then you have to hit it on the fly. It does depend on your level of skill and comfort in terms of being able to control the ball. So I'm going to backhand this, and then I'll technically be done, but I want to get that final shot up the middle. And when I do, I really want to get the locks going. So notice instant info, and I talk about it in the others in the series. Really important in those games, very much less important in Game of Thrones. The instant info here is not that useful. But knowing that I've only got one ball locked, I really want to have, when Martel's done, I want to have Stark ready, and there's wall multi-ball. I need 4 more advancements. I want to have the third lock simultaneous, this lit, with choose your battle, which will be Stark, and start them at the same time. So because I've already got 2 hits on Martel, instead of trying to do that and light the lock, I want to get this last hit, because that way I don't have to start this over if I end up draining. So sometimes it won't go all the way around, and then you got to be ready to come back, and what I did is live catch there. Let's see if the timer's going. Yeah. So I think the timer ended because I got the 3 required shots. So what I want to do now is light a lock. And it's a little dangerous because if I'm going for either of these, I don't have to hit the unlit one, and it's going to bank over here most likely. Hopefully it'll hit that target, but it could end up draining me. So it's going to want to start Stark, and I only have 2 balls, multi-ball. But I'm going to be ready to short plunge this, because it's automatically going to start Stark. So notice the timer on Stark is 40 seconds. You see 40 on the value? So I've got 40 seconds to finish. And the timer hasn't started yet because I short plunged, because I made sure I had that lock. I'm not worried about going through the Stark right now. What I need to do is post pass over and light my 3rd lock. Because once I'm in Blackwater multi-ball, I will have the Martel ability. So I'll be able to press the button and get an add-a-ball. Why do I want that add-a-ball? 2 reasons. I want to go ahead and, technically 3, it'll give me some score, right? But I want to use it, like I said, to finish Stark, and I want to hit these pick targets, which add gold for my 3rd mode in this step-by-step approach, which is Lannister. Lannister ability allows you to trade gold for playfield multiplier. So when I accumulate some gold in that multi-ball through the chaos of multi-ball, right, hitting these targets, I'm adding enough gold to get 1 or 2 or 3 playfield X. The other thing is the sword is lit, and it's going to limit what I can do on those shots without getting all the swords, but I'm not worried about that right now. And Stark's ability is something, I better say it now so we're ready. Once I complete Stark, I'm home free, because that ability allows me to not have to play out Lannister. I just have to start it and hit the button once. Boom. Now I lose some scoring potential. I only get 5 million, but then I'm right in the Hand of the King, mini wizard mode. Hand of the King with the mini wizard mode, guess what? I'm using Lannister to do 2x, 3x, 4x playfield. And so now I'm maximizing my Hand of the King beyond what most people will do. And if you get all the required shots, which for Greyjoy is a little harder, if you do that, your final super at the battering ram, like I said, could be 300, 400, 500 million. So, like I said, I'm going to post pass over and go for a lock, and then try to lock it. And again, the timer, I'm still at 40 seconds. If I end up draining it, it'll all be here for ball 2, waiting for me. And I've made really good progress for Greyjoy on ball 1. A little stupid there, but lock's lit. The timer's going down, so now I'm in Blackwater, and now I'm going to try to hit all these shots twice for Stark. That one's not needed for Stark, but so all these like purplish shots. I ended up hitting the dragon by accident, which is perfectly fine. So now I want the 2 shots on the right. Now I want the one on the right orbit. That works. It's not the right orbit. There it is. I don't care. Now I'm going to use my add-a-ball. I think I might have timed out Stark, which is not good. So I don't think I finished Stark in time there. I see that. So I'll have to do that again. But I got some points to get here with the super. It is on a timer, but I find it's easier from the right flipper. Now it's timed out. Now you just hit the other shots to go for a second super. But what I want to do is get control of one ball so I don't end up with a double drain. Okay. So where are we at? 104 is not much, but I'm not too worried about that. 1385 gold. You need 600 gold for every PFX. So I've got at least up to 3x playfield with that amount of gold. So I'm going to start Stark again and try to get through it. So I wasn't able to use the multi-ball to fully, I was 1 shot away to get Stark, but I built up my gold and got a few points. This is still tempting, but I've been missing it. But it's ball 1, so I'm going to give it a crack. Okay. Oh, I must have gotten it already. I already got it and I didn't realize it and I used it because I got it down in multi-ball. And so you got to pay attention to multi-ball to make sure that stuff like that, that was a waste, a risky shot for nothing. The only good thing is I've advanced Baratheon, and if I get one more, then I'll be able to play Baratheon, which I won't do until after Hand of the King because I'm playing Greyjoy. 2 more shots. Now the spinner. About 14 seconds left. And it hit the switch, just what I needed. Up to 139, and now the fun starts. So what I want to do now is post pass over and start Lannister. And when I do, use my button ability for Stark to finish the mode like that. And then I'll be right in the hand of the king. So the value of Greyjoy is you more or less only need to play 2 modes to get to hand of the king, because it's already spotting you Greyjoy. Oh, that's what I want, on the right. Missed. Post pass. Okay. So I'm going to let it come down and then make a shot up the middle, and I'm going to hit the button as I do that. Done. So now, hand to the king. Just like that. And now, with this button like this, I got 2x multiplier. I just start hitting the little shots. Every time I see it, I'm hitting it. I'm already at 4x playfield, by the way, as you can see. Oh no, that was bad. Okay, good. Oh no. 2 shots left. My playfield multiplier timed out, but still good. All right, great. Now, my plan is, before this 2x runs out, is hit that right orbit and then hit the super. So you didn't hear it. Now I'm just going to keep hitting this shot. Look at my score. I was just at under 200. Now, I got that much because I was able to hit the battering ram after I made all the shots. Maybe 50% of the time I get all the shots and I'm able to do that. But when you do, it's a nice thing. So, got 4 houses of the 7 done. Hand of the King's done. Iron Throne sitting there, but fighting through Targaryen's not going to be easy. So what I want to do now is just go for these and Tyrell and just light one of those 2 modes. And ideally, and now notice I got 350 gold. Because Lannister was still the last house that I completed, until I complete another house, I still get to use the ability for the playfield multiplier at a push of a button every 600 gold. So anytime I see this red, I'm going to hit it. Except if I get Baratheon going, because Baratheon allows you to crank up the value with the spinner up to 150, call it. You can go higher, but it starts not giving you much. And you get 150 million, and then you hit this and get a playfield multiplier and complete it. Now you're getting double value. You get like 300 instead of 150 if you can max it out. That's the only time I wouldn't just hit it right away. The other thing is wall multi-ball. I've got no lanes lit. I need 4 advancements. I could go that route as well as just try to get closer to wall multi-ball so I can stack it. I'm not looking to stack Baratheon with the multi-ball for the house. I am looking to do it for Terrell because Terrell's a harder mode because you've got to hit these targets or a shot and then these targets and a shot and these targets. So it's dangerous in single ball play and a little more difficult, but a multi-ball, it's easier to get most of the way through, if not all the way through, and complete that mode. Use a multi-ball with Targaryen is because it's a 3-phase. Each phase would be all it lets you do in a multi-ball. It's not as useful. So now I'm just going to try to qualify Baratheon with those targets. And it's a little dangerous, but the only other thing is if I wanted to really just focus on score, I might just try to get into another Blackwater multi-ball. But now you have to hit both. And then lock, and then both, and then lock. So we're in like a harder workload here. Phase. All right, I'll take that any day. Now, some players will be, who really don't know a game very well, they'll be like, and sometimes really good players will do this. They're like, oh, I was going to do, I don't know, Martell, but I'm going to do whatever the person ahead of me who just got $1 billion and just try to replicate that. Again, if they're paying attention. So, I'll do Baratheon next, and then I'll do Martell as player 3, and I'll do Targaryen as player 4. So. And what I'm going to do in Baratheon and Martell is get 2 modes qualified with the 3 shots, and then also get the locks so I can start 2 modes plus Blackwater at the same time, and stack those to get halfway through to Hand of the King. Well, I shouldn't have done that. I hit that ball on the fly. It's such a bad idea. Uh-oh. That was risky because see how close to the tip of the flipper it was? For those of you who, are a little newer, you want to be really careful if you're bounce passing toward the tip of the flipper. I got lucky there. A lot of times it'll just roll off. So I'm going to make 1 lock because I've got the ball here. It's easy to hit. I need to get comfortable in terms of making sure I'm making progress toward multi-ball no matter what. Still have players behind me. I don't know what they're going to do. And again, I'll get to do the short plunge and be able to trap up and make my shot. So I'm going to pass. Okay. So when you pass, it's still there, except for, notice, choose your battle is not lit. You have to then qualify another mode, or the locks, if I'm recalling correctly, and then it will relight choose your battle. Now, if I go up the middle 3 times, because I lock and light the lock and lock, Lannister automatically will light. The issue is I don't want to stack Lannister with Baratheon. It's not an ideal stack. Most people do is Greyjoy and Lannister, because once you get the pick targets in Lannister in that multi-ball stack, both of those houses are all the same shots. So you're getting 2 for 1s. So you're getting efficiency. And you're more likely to complete them both. Okay, so I got Greyjoy. So now I want to go ahead and get my second lock, and I'll still pass, but I want to get my second lock because I don't want to start those 2 till I have Blackwater ready. I need to be prepared because it's probably going to bank over here, and we got to see where it's going. And you know what? A better approach, because I don't have the Lord of Light lit from from the drops, but remember, that's the button ability. And when you're getting used to using or playing Baratheon, you got to remember this. But if the ball rockets, you're not going to react in time. But by practicing in Baratheon, you start getting used to it. But again, you don't want to use that as you walk away. Well, in this case, it won't matter if you walk away, but you want to not be in the habit of, a lot of players in tournaments, when they lose the ball, even on ball one, they hit the lockdown bar button as they walk away, and that's a really bad idea on Mandalorian, because you use up your flamethrower, and it's a bad idea on Black Knight Sword of Rage, because then you don't get your Magna save, and those are the two examples I gave in the Avengers video, if you saw that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post pass over, try to hit those two. That way I light the Lord of Light there, and then I get potentially 2 opportunities, but also I'm going to go ahead and get, maybe it'll bank into there and give me a light lock. Because the post passing's so easy on this. Of course, I say that, let's see if I do it and don't mess it up. Okay, so that worked. But I don't have the lock lit, so it didn't bank in there, but at least these are ready. So now that dangerous shot, I'm protected. I was still protected with the lockdown bar button, and notice that it's not lit because it's already lit here from the one time with the drops that every house has that one time. Convenient. Now it's relit. So I gotta just shoot late enough to get the lock. So this should be locked too. So now I'm gonna pass. Again, I wanna stack them, and I wanna not have the modes time out, and I gotta be ready to short plunge and not hit that upper switch. Otherwise it's gonna activate the ball save. Ball save's not, well, it's not plunge, so there wouldn't be a ball save, but I don't have to worry about hitting a switch and then draining. Because as soon as I hit a switch, it's going to be a truly live ball. So now I want to do the same thing. I want to get that third lock, and then I'll start both of those. Now, it could be argued that I just go ahead and light some other houses, but it doesn't matter. Like, I want to just get that done, because if I light other houses, the benefit of getting the multi-ball now is that I'll be able to qualify the multi-ball, the second multi-ball, while I'm lighting the other houses. If I try to light, I see people try and light all the houses at, before they do much. It's not efficient. So I want to start the multi-ball, so then I will do that after, start lighting some houses. And so as the ball ricochets and I hit the locks, I'm now advancing closer to a second multi-ball for Blackwater. All right, now we're ready. Greyjoy Lannister. And I can use the lockdown in the multi-ball if I want. I'm pretty sure. Yep. I may or may not want to do that. Typically, I wouldn't. But if I'm close to getting the super, I would. It's going. So now I want to get the right shot, there. So notice, uh-oh. Okay. So I got 2 more shots, timer's running down, missed it. Nope, too late. So I don't know if you noticed, Well, actually, it gave it to me because two were lit, but I only needed one. But so it's lit solid now. So I got my 2 houses. So that worked out. Did a multi-ball, stacked those 2, got it. Let's see where we're at score-wise. 151, not high enough. So, but what I had done is I have 1 ball here. I thought I needed both shots because I'm in the moment. You know, you can only think about so much. So I wanted to hit the sword ramp or the Stark ramp because it's going to return to the left flipper. So if I did need that shot, I would hit it on the return. If I would have hit the orbit, it would have went up there or come all the way around, and then I still don't have that shot. So you really want to be thinking about the order of the shots that are going to give you the benefit and the safety of returning back to the flipper, especially on a timed mode like that. So now what? I've got the option of really Stark and Martel. Stark's very easy mode to complete. Martel's pretty easy, and Baratheon is a little harder because Baratheon you need to hit the dragon shot. So gold doesn't really matter as it relates to this, so I'm not too worried about it. 2 more advancements to start the wall multi-ball. So I've got 1 top lane lit right now. So by backhanding the spinner, I should be able to get 1 more of those. So then I need 1 more advancement, needing 2 of those lanes to have wall multi-ball ready. Actually, I'm going to forehand it because I want to get Martel lit instead of backhanding it. It may shoot all the way around. Sometimes I forget exactly when it's going to stop it and when it's not. So it may shoot it all the way around. So in that case, I'm going to change what I'm saying. I'm going to go for the Stark ramp and try to hit that 3 times. And that way I'll light that, then I'll go for that. It's ball 1, so I'm in good shape. I'm probably going to make hand of the king, but you never know. But this helps a lot because if it tries to drain over there, if I get to it in time, I got literally like 3 ball saves for the rest of the game, 1 per ball. Except, that's a good point. You see how fast that was? There was no way I was going to get to it, and I missed the shot. So that is the only thing with Baratheon. Every once in a while, you're going to have like that rocket drain. All right, so I said I would do Martel next. And again, this is what I see most players doing because of the out of ball. But I think you're starting to see the benefits of doing other things. So I'm going to choose that. I'm going to short plunge. I'm not messing around. Patience. You can do it as much as you want. Don't let anyone, like any stress of players watching or any of that. Not doing it. Discipline. You need discipline. Finally, I get it. So you really want to be disciplined when it comes to that. So the strategy with Martel, get to Blackwater, and again, Greyjoy and Lannister as a stack. And then you're going to have the out-of-ball opportunity. So what I almost always do in all the games, ball 1, I'm going to go for the targets late as possible because the hard shot's that bottom one. It'll bank off and maybe hit the lock, and then we see what happens. So guess what? This ball save is still safe. It's not timing out because I could hear the music. It's the original music. That switch hit was not enough to validate the play field. You see the power of that, of just short plunging? And again, advanced players already know this, but people who don't know the game, they just plunge away, and so it's a bad, it's not the best way to play it. So now, I haven't officially activated the ball save, so if I miss this and drain, I'm getting the ball back. So I really want to get this, so that way I get my Lord of Light. So this is as if I'm just plunging, so it's not, that drain is meaningless. I could let it go and go. Okay, let me see if I get it this time. I've been having trouble, right? There's not really a ricochet, but the sling helped me out and got one lock. So now I want to go ahead and pass. Go ahead and click pass and then be ready because it's going to want to auto plunge. I've already got the plunger ready so I could short plunge as soon as it comes into the, to be ready to be plunged. And now playfield is not validated yet. So I can post pass over and light my next lock. Or not. Oh, that was bad. Okay. So I got second lock lit. What I want to now do is get my Greyjoy qualified. So that's one shot. I've got two more shots. Making a little adjustment, Omar is, so we're not having an earthquake in Florida. No dragon is coming down on us.
What's that? Okay.
So I'm going to look to qualify the Greyjoy, but not yet, because I've only got one lock, so I want to lock the next ball first. So that gives me my second shot on Lannister. I'm going to short plunge. Let it go. Notice I took the shot there because I felt really comfortable where that was positioned on the flipper. And so that allowed me to get my third shot on Greyjoy. So what I want to do is light the lock and then go ahead and start Greyjoy, and it'll be my third shot for Lannister, and go ahead and stack those. Missed. Uh-oh. Golly. Oh man, I got lucky there. See the value of getting that Lord of Light there. So you got 20 seconds to make a selection. That's what I want. But if I didn't have this on ball one and it would have drained, I'd have more pressure on ball two and less ability to advance to the next Blackwater multi-ball. So now I'm going to just try to complete these by hitting the shots. Trying to remember, I'm in Martell, so I get the atta ball, so I need to not waste that. Okay, easier from the right side. Use my atta ball. All right, where are we? 2x playfield, that is timing out as I talk. Go ahead and try to get Stark ready. So I didn't mean to hit that. I was hoping to get it up the middle, but not the end of the world. So 4 million for 120 gold. Okay, big deal. I'm not worried about Wildfire. Wildfire has really minimal influence on the game. The gold, keeping one, I'd rather just get 4 for 120. It's not a big deal. It's not gonna do much, but whatever. So my 2x is expiring. You saw it. So now what I'm gonna do is try to complete those 2 modes, so that way I could get to Hand of the King. So I'll stack those. I mean, even if I don't complete them, I'm making progress, and then I'll get another crack at it. So Stark, you can build value up over and over and over at the center until you hit 75 million, then you cash it out on the left spinner. Oh man, not like that though. Usually I can nail it over and over, right? Gotta be mindful of the timer. So, because eventually it's gonna time out and I'm gonna get none of this. So I'll get something. And I could have kept it going or waited and let it drain and do that all over again. My Martel timed out. Each mode has a different amount of time, so that's why Martel timed out while Stark was still going, because it's 30 versus 40 seconds. So all I need is 1 more, because I've got 3 houses solid. So once I get Martel, I'll be in Hand of the King. And I'm halfway there to player 1. I got 496. And much ahead of player 2, but none of these scores matter too much yet. There's winners coming. When you hit the same shot, that once you've qualified it enough times, it starts a hurry up. And if you do like 5 hurry ups, then you get mini wizard mode called Winter is Here. Not something you normally go for. Maybe you could get to it in a game, maybe, but it's not like it's the most lucrative thing in the world either. So notice I'm trying to live catch that and not like just flail it. 1 more shot, I'll have Martel done. Got a lane completion, which is good. Complete it right here. While the these red arrows are for combos and do the shot multipliers. So this was 2x, so that was 63 million shot right there. So I'm in Hand of the King, got to make all those shots, and then go for the battering ram to cash in the super.
You are now the
They're all twice. One more. Oh, one more after that. Okay. Okay. Uh-oh. That's wrong. Ah. I didn't get it. Video mode can give you a little bit of points. We're definitely going to do that just for fun. Tells you what to do. Right flipper attacks, left goes back. Sometimes you could just right flipper button, and sometimes it won't work. It just depends. Oh, I thought I had him. He got me. No. Peanuts. So it's gonna kick out, bounce. All right. So Targaryen is qualified, but I want to get Baratheon and Tyrell. You can see 2 lights right there. I want to get that last one, and it should qualify it. I'm also going to go for the bottom target there to light my lock and advance my Tyrell completions. Uh-oh. That was textbook, though. That was not. Because you saw what I did. I should have, like, let the ball bounce there. Instead, I flipped.
Choose.
But still, not a terrible ball 1 at all. Get to the hand of the king in ball 1. Now, when these games are set up harder, you know, this looks a little easier than if they really make the game a lot harder. You know, if they take the rubbers off and incline it more and all those things, no ball save, it won't usually be as easy. So I do want to make that disclaimer. So I'm on player 4, right? So now, obviously, there's 7 houses. I'm only choosing 4 for this tutorial. We're not going to go through the other ones. There's not going to be a second part of this or anything. Some people like these other ones and they use them to effect, and it does depend on what you like and what you know and who else you're playing. But me personally, I told you the 3 that I'm going to use in my toolbox. So Targaryen, it's going to spot me that first. I'm going to do the same strategy of most of the others, is double up. Get Blackwater as a utility multi-ball to complete 2 of those houses. And then the last house I'm going to do is Stark to get hand of the king, because Stark is the easiest. 3 shots up the middle minimum. And the spinner, and I'm done. So I want to get Lannister, Greyjoy, or Martell qualified here. But probably Greyjoy, because either one. But ideally Greyjoy, because Lannister's going to come with the locks. Short plunge. I almost flipped it again, but I don't want to do it. I just want to do this. So, same thing. I pretty much start every time the same. Hit the targets, hope to bank into there, hope to get the Lord of Light lit ball 1. My ball save is totally intact still. Well, that's trouble. I'm going to post pass over rather than that. I want to get that target. I mentioned this in the AIQ tutorial. Notice that quick flip I did for a lot of live catches. You're trying to time it and hold it up. But when you do a quick one like that, the ball usually comes up and usually comes straight back down to the flipper a lot slower, and allows you a chance to trap it like I did. So if that's a skill that you don't use right now, you should consider practicing it. All right, no lock, so that's really what I want to work on ball 1. I don't want to be behind the 8 ball, so I'm not going for any shots. I'm post passing, again, conservative. I always like to trap. I don't need to hit it on the fly. I know myself. I know I'm going to miss more often if I don't do it this way.
Lock is lit.
That was dicey. Lock's lit. Uh-oh. Uh-oh again. Short plunge, you gotta be ready. Don't be asleep. So at some point, I'm going to want to get Stark. Because this particular machine is allowing me to backhand this very nicely. Many do, some don't. So you want to make sure, but if you can, like, it's pretty safe. So I'm going to do that, try to get it back here and maybe make 2 more of those so I could qualify Stark, and then use, when it comes back, this flipper to hit one of the Terrell targets to get another lock. Nope, missed that. There's the lock. And notice this game does, the flippers come up enough where it can stop the ball like that. Again, so many players just flip it away, and this is a high control game, as you can tell. And if I wasn't talking, I'd probably be trapping up about exactly the same as you see here. Ready for the short plunge. Okay, so I know with the next shot up the middle, especially with a lock, I'm going to get Lannister. So I'm going to go for Greyjoy right now, and yeah, Martell if I need to. Uh-oh. One more. You can see wall advance again. Well, it did. There it is. So that means 4 shots, assuming you know Roman numerals from school, right? That's 4 more. And if you're not sure, go to Instant Info. 2 balls locked, 4 advancements. So I can get my lock and then start Lannister Greyjoy. Short plunge. Got to grab that quick and then. If I flailed it and then miss and drains, I don't get that lock. I don't get my I don't get it all done in ball 1. So you don't want to flail that. You want to just keep going until you get control. So Blackwater multi-ball, Lannister Greyjoy stack, standard. That'll give me 3. I'm just trying to keep up with the Joneses, looking at everyone else's score. The button ability that I didn't talk about, I will shortly. That was bad. Rush that. Get up there. So what, I think I was 3 seconds left, but I froze the timer and it's given me 15 seconds to finish. And that is, so that is the value or the button ability of Targaryen, is it will freeze the timers. You get it once per ball. So when that button's blue, it'll buy you extra time if you haven't completed the mode. So the issue is I'm missing one of the pick targets for Lannister and then the other shots. So I can start that mode right away and go for that. But I'm going to try to get Martell ready, again, because it's ball one, and I can stack those two together. Even if I don't finish them, I'll be able to get some extra points. If I do, then I don't need to worry about Stark. I'll have both of those and be ready for Hand of the King. I always seem to, well, I got 2 low scores right now compared to the rest. All right, so player 1 steps up, 1 billion, sees that player 3 has got 800, and then the other 2 are pretty low. But again, if you're paying attention, you're sitting here, not going away from the game and watching how the other players are playing, what their progress is, then you've got a sense like a billion's probably good. Player 2 and 4, they could catch, depends on the player, right? Assess the player, make a decision. But either way, I'm worried about player 3 at 811. And this is Greyjoy. So what I want to do is, you see, I've only got one of those. I'm just going to go for these and this because those 2 are left, plus Targaryen's very difficult. I'm just worried about qualifying one of them as soon as I do, because Greyjoy only lets me do 1 house. And then go ahead and start the mode and get what points I can. The other thing I didn't check, okay, good. It's like, don't autoplay. I gotta look at my multi-ball progress for advancement. So it's still doable. I might get it, but it's not imminent. If there's 1 or 2 away, I might be focused on that. All right, so I got Baratheon. So qualified there. So I'm going to start it. And so with Baratheon, you build up value. You'll see it on the spinner. I need to hit the dragon and then most likely the targets. Yeah, that's what I believe I need to do. So see 29 million if I cash out. Now it's up to 62. Now it's up to 97. That's kind of good enough for me. So notice this is lit and then the spinner's lit. So that gave me about 100 million, because you saw I built up the spinner value to about that. I could have kept going a little more, up to 150, but I'd rather just take it. Because again, that 811's behind me. There's a point where, hundreds of millions, 200, 300 is not so easy in this game. In the beginning, you have a lot of opportunity, as you see, to get hundreds of millions in score. Now I'm only 2 away from Iron Throne. These are the harder modes. So I need to qualify Tyrell. Now I've got it here. It's a little bit of a gamble to go ahead and just try to get that ready. I'll get the ball over here again usually, so I'm not going to worry about that. The sword is lit if I want to try to get the multiplier higher, but I'm not that worried about it because I'm not close to a multi-ball. Multi-ball becomes a little easier to take advantage of those higher playfield shot X, shot multipliers. All right, so I need to hit the bottom one. Not an easy shot, but Here's one more. wall advancement. So now if you just saw, let's look at instant info, right? One advancement. So I need the top 2 lanes. So I'm gonna stack the Terrell and the wall multi-ball together. That's my goal. So first I gotta qualify Terrell. Oh, and I forgot. So the reason I forgot, I had the Baratheon ability. That was Greyjoy. It's not the easiest thing when you're going through the game like this and then commentating on it essentially. And I'm thinking about a lot of things. And then I had the Baratheon ability, because that's what Greyjoy does, steals the ability. And I could have gotten that ball back. Now, this is Baratheon, so I'll have that ability no matter what. Now it's on top of mind. So that was bad. That was a mistake. And I'll have that ability on ball 3 with Greyjoy until I complete Terrell, and then I'll have Terrell's ability. Terrell's ability allows you to get shot multipliers from the in lanes. So you can move the flippers to move the light, and then it gives you the shot multipliers. So that can be worth a lot of points if you're hitting shots that are of value and you're getting them multiplied by 4 or 5 times. So Baratheon, let's see where we're at, 156. No balls locked, 2 advancements to start wall. I've already gotten Blackwater once. I want to get to Hand of the King. I only need 2 more up top, so I'm going to be going for that. And I'll probably go for Martell and Baratheon. Although I like Baratheon on its own, but when you stack it with wall multi-ball, you can get some extra points. So the times I'm catching this versus missing is when I'm giving it a harder nudge off the wall there, and it's landing on the flipper in a way that allows me to live catch it better. Probably because there's a little spin that occurs when I don't give it the nudge, and it's causing it to kind of go this way. It's really hard to see the spin on the ball, right? But that's part of what's going on a lot of times. All right. So it doesn't know that I've plunged yet. So I don't want to go up top to get my wall advancements yet. I want to go ahead and just post pass and try and qualify Martell. So I did that. Now I want to get wall multi-ball qualified, so I need 2 advancements, which this will count in Baratheon, so that does count as but I don't want to hit it. I'm just going to go up top. Winner's coming. As you can see, that shot wasn't worth too much. All right, there's 1 advancement. And now I just need 1 more lane up there. And that's gone. Oh, gone except for on the sliders. Normally that would be gone. All right, so see, shoot the dragon shot. What's important though, because I made this mistake once in a finals, and it cost me, I think, first place, is I started wall multi-ball without starting the mode first. I didn't start the battle because I was just so focused on getting that ready. So I'm gonna start the battle, stack these two. It's gonna come around here, and hopefully I won't miss. And because I'm in Baratheon, if I do miss and it goes toward an outlane, I need to be ready to save it. Now, ideally, before doing that, what would be even better is getting a Blackwater lock ready, because then I'd be able to short plunge for sure, get it here under control. This is going to release, and the ball is going to be going a little bit of speed. Maybe I could post catch it, but probably not. So I'm going to be hitting this on the fly, and I hope I don't miss it. If it's from the trap, I'm less likely to miss it. Oh, my lucky day, I got it. So now I've done that stack. So player one, I should have a good chance at catching up to player one. All right, so I completed those two modes, and you can see Super Jackpot is at the Dragon. I think I got 300 million right now. Okay, how much was that worth? Not much because I didn't have a multiplier on it, but I'm still in that multi-ball. So I did that because I went up the middle because the red shot to give me higher combo value. And I'm going to try to do that before I go for that super again. So I'm going to go up the middle because it's lit, and I'm going to get that combo value. Missed that. Got that. Let's see where we're at. See, that was bigger because I had a bigger multiplier on it. Oh, I'd take that. All right, so Hand of the King's ready. I got 400. I know player one's got 1.2 and player three. Oh, for some reason I think I thought I was player three when I was playing player two. So player three is 811. So we'll see where we end up out of the Hand of the King here. Was not a good, not a good Hand of the King. So my options with Stark, I want to max out that value. And Terrell, I would need to try and get another Blackwater actually. So I'm gonna qualify Stark because I don't have it qualified. When it comes around, I'm gonna try to get it all set, and then I'll try to end my last shot with that Terrell target so I can light a lock. Short plunge, and I'm going to try to make as many shots up the middle in the row as I can, and then go for the collect at the spinner. It ends at 75 is the max. Don't drain. Oh, and and I had the 150 cash out. And I got a little over anxious, and that's what happens. You know, you fire early when you're a little too anxious because you want that shot so bad. All right, so this was Martel, and Martel is doing better than normally I would expect. Got all the houses ready, so I'm gonna go ahead and stack Baratheon and Terrell, and let's see how many locks. That'll be only the first lock, so so I'm not gonna try to stack the modes with the multi-ball this time because I may as well just start these. If I don't finish them, I'm getting points along the way, even as I try to qualify the next multi-ball. And in terms of wall, 5 advancements, that's going to take a little work. So the plan is these two, try to complete them, and if I can get some progress for the other locks, great. And I think that plunge, yep. That plunge, I think, went just a little too high. And no big deal, but it did hit the switch, I think. So I got Baratheon. Didn't maximize value though. Uh-oh. I could have saved that with this, the way this is sliding, but it would have been totally unrealistic to do so. So it didn't make too many points there. Like I said, you kind of get in points jail at some point. But there was some value there to get, but not a lot. Baratheon, I should have just maybe done that alone. So sometimes doing both doesn't make sense. Because I could have maximized the value of Baratheon rather than trying to do two things at once. All right, player 4, Targaryen. See where we're at. Three more advancements toward wall. I want to stack 2 modes, so I'll look to Lannister and maybe Martell. I think I just need the 1 hit on that target. And just try to get those 2 started so I could get to Hand of the King. So I got to qualify Martel, which is the right orbit. It's another advancement. So I qualified Martel, got control. So I'm going to go ahead and start those two. Except for you can't start a mode if you have a winter is coming and you have to make that shot or time it out. And me talking almost caused me to miss the timer on the choosing both, but now I'm good. See that target? I want to hit that first, you know, and hope for the best. And that, I did that because I wanted to light all the shots. So I completed Lannister. One more for Martel. It's going to give me credit here. See, on the up and back, if there's a little bit of a gap, it'll give you credit. So now if I make this shot in time, oh, the timer's off because only those 3 shots. So now I've got hand of the king. So this is the opportunity to try to catch up. Hit all the shots. Oh, you gotta hit all the shots twice. Missing the shot. Too early, too late, too late, too early, too early. All right. So now I just need that. Try and get it. Oh, the pops gave me an attaboy. So the one thing I didn't mention is these are using like the slot pops, kind of like well, similar to Ghostbusters. So I happened to get that award. So because I was in multi-ball and it gave me that attaboy. That's not going to always happen, and it's a little lucky. So I think this is the only shot I need to get the super for Hand of the King. You can see I'm at 500. So I want to catch up. If I can make this shot and then make the super, I'm going to be really close to player 3. See what I get, 505. Oh, that's not much. Could have done better. I thought I'd do better with that super, but I didn't have any playfield multipliers or anything, so. All right, so 592, I'm trying to catch 868. I'm a little worried about player 2 at 558. This, again, Targaryen, where the strength is getting to Iron Throne. So what I want to do now is qualify these other modes. I got no Blackwater and 1 advancement to Wall. So what I want to do is stack like Baratheon and Tyrell. If I can get Baratheon and Tyrell ready and then the wall multi-ball. I'm going to use the wall to try to complete those two. Then all I need is Stark, and Stark is cake. 3 shots plus that, and that will be an iron throw. But it's not going to be easy to qualify these two. I don't know how much more I need to get. Well, I did get Terrell,
Lot is lit.
so it'll be an interesting ball 3 there. If you haven't already noticed, like a lot of Stearns, the top lanes give you bonus X. So the issue here is, look, I can't see all the other players' scores. So I don't know where I'm at. What I do know is wall multi-ball's ready. And I'd like to stack it with a mode, but again, looking at who's breathing down my neck with the other players, I'm going to short plunge, I'm going to get the lock. Actually, what I want to do is short plunge, post pass, and try to get Terrell qualified. I might only need those 2 hits. And if that's the case, then I can go ahead and start wall after I start Terrell. Still, I didn't hit a switch. So Terrell is qualified. Post pass. And now make the shot. Actually, I almost went for the lock by accident. So now I want to shoot the dragon and use that to that multi-ball to help me complete Terrell. So now I'm seeing where I'm at. 868 for player 3. They got a little ways to go, especially they're in a little bit of jail. So I'm feeling pretty good as player 1, but player 4 can catch me with Targaryen. And if player 4 gets Iron Throne, it's not going to matter probably what I do here, because it's going to be really hard to complete Targaryen on its own. So I almost went for wall and I didn't start Terrell. My first instinct, like I said, was to go up the middle, and so I want to do that, start the mode, and then it's going to give me a lock, but there's a lock right here. You got to pay attention to whether the ball's locked or not.
Winter is coming.
And since it's ball 1, it's going to go and just push one of these down. It's not going to let me plunge. So I missed that shot. Clock's ticking, I think, for Terrell. So remember, I'm in Greyjoy, so I have this available. Outlane ball save, because Baratheon's the last house that I completed. Once I complete Terrell, this will go away. Purple shots are the wall multi-ball shots. I'm trying to hit those Terrell targets. I'm not doing a good job of all that. Okay. So I ran out of time on Terrell. So now all I have is wall. I did pick up some points there. I'm at 1.4. See how that up and down worked out? Usually it works. So now, same thing. Try and complete that. Except for put me in winners here. Or sorry, winners coming, I mean. Trouble. Remember, it's shot, shots, target, shots, target, shots, target. Well, I did hit this on the way out, and Terrell's ability is you can cash in your multipliers for points. And that's what I did by hitting that at the last second as it drained. So if you're wondering what I was doing, I had just completed Terrell and being in Greyjoy, and so it gave me that ability. And as it drained, I just hit the button. It gave me a little bit of extra points because I had the, you're trading the shot multipliers that are active for that. All right. This is Baratheon. See where we're at in terms of any locks. So I got one for Blackwater, but I'm gonna have to do some work to advance that. Wall's not gonna happen, 11 advancements. So I'm mindful of player 4, which again could end up with billions or not. It depends whether player 4 executes. I'm last, so I need to come up with something. Stark at most can give me that 75 unless I get a shot multiplier. By the time you crank it up to 75, your combos, like, and you're on this flipper, it's not the easiest thing to like hit something else to get a combo so you can get a 2x or more. So it's a little tricky, but I can, I don't have a lot of options. So I am in a bit of jail. And you can see how, like, when you don't fully maximize some things, how you can put yourself into a pickle there. So I'm going to go for Stark and see if I can. I'm just going to get what I can in Stark and then try to get Blackwater qualified. And I'm probably going to get Terrell qualified at the same time because I'm hitting the Terrell targets. It could be argued to just focus on that, but I'm just going to go with Stark and just see where I end up. Oh, sorry about that. All right, so you can see what I did there. I was able to repeat that shot. Now I'm a little bit ahead of player 4. Not probably enough. There's not a lot of points available. I mean, I might be able to, I don't know what I'm going to get in mystery, so I'm going to go for the mystery because maybe I get the video mode and win and get a little bit. But my strategy is going to go back to this. Plus that gave me a Targaryen advancement. There's 3x video mode, so that's what I was kind of hoping for, but I got to win it. It's not going to give me a ton, maybe 60. Oh, geez, he just has to hit me once and I hit him 3 times. Now I get peanuts again. It was worth a shot. Yeah, that was stolen from me. So not very, it's a nail biter now. You know, you've been in one of those in a tournament and you're like, that person's gonna have to do pretty bad and gonna be biting your fingernails saying, I don't want it to be last. So player 2, Baratheon, still not bad, 734 in general. Again, it depends on who you're playing. I'm playing myself and all of these are good scores. So with Martell, I'm just going to go and focus on the Tyrell. I need to see where I'm at again. 1 ball locked. and 5 walls, which is a little far away, so I'll work on this. Because I have 1 lock, I'm definitely looking to get that second lock. And I'm going to start Terrell regardless, but I don't need to start it now. Why not get the second lock so then I can go ahead and get control on the plunge. Even though there's a ball here, because the second lock, 2 balls there are fine, it's going to give me the plunge. If I had no balls locked with that ball there, because you got to pay attention to that, it would just put it down here, and I'm not getting that short plunge advantage. That was not ideal, but it's okay.
Lot is lit.
I'm going to start Terrell. Oh, you know what? Doesn't hurt to do both. You get some extra points. Oh, timed out. Timed out. No big deal. Do it again. Just don't look how fast the ball goes when you just like, oh, let me just hit it on the fly, flail around. All right, so player 4, goal number 1, beat 734, then 926. The easiest way to beat 734 is to start Stark. However, Stark's not qualified. Got no balls there. Lit 1 ball, 1 advancement to start for wall. So I definitely want to get wall, even if I don't start anything, which I can. That should allow me to get past 734, and then I worry about 926. If this was a standard strikes, I probably still would go that route, but you know, you need 300. So if I stack 2 modes, it might make sense. But Stark can give me a chunk of change. So I'm just going to worry about getting wall ready, and then see if I can maybe qualify Baratheon. Because on the short plunge and ball save here, it's like a free shot. I didn't really want to do that. Okay, so 1 more advancement for wall. I've got to do that first. Okay. So the beauty of having the lock in the battle ready is I can bring Terrell into wall if I hit wall. And it's going to be much easier to hit wall. Well, I was saying that, but I've got 2 balls here. Remember, I keep saying like, oh, I could plunge and then get control, but it's going to kick one of these balls out because I have 0 balls. Wait a minute. Why does it say 6 advancements? I thought it said 1, unless I misread it and it was really 7. Shoot, man. No, there it is. Yeah, so I don't know why it was showing that in the instant info when it's telling me wall's ready. So start the mode, hit wall. Don't miss. So I should be able to get ahead of 734. That's 20 right there. And then let's see how close we get to the 9. Got 2x play field. That wasn't ideal, but it should be close. Oh, I did it. 1 billion. So if it was standard strikes, player 4 just barely made it and avoided their, say, final strike or whatever. So you can see on this game, in a way, the way I played it, I mean, they were all pretty close in terms of score. But the potential that I left on the table was really the highest with Targaryen. That's always going to be probably your biggest opportunity to get really big scores. And Greyjoy was the winner in terms of this particular match. But you've got to do it in that exact order. Again, there's one other order where you substitute Terrell, but I don't go in that direction. And I've covered everything. I don't need to keep going. Just remember, like I missed this a couple times. Remember the short plunge and decide which of these houses works for you. Practice them and decide what works best for you, especially in comparison to the players you're playing and your perceived understanding of their skill level and ability to get certain scores. So with that, that's going to conclude our 3-part series, although you may be looking at these in different. You may only look at one because you don't really have these other games at your place where you play. We may or may not do any more, but we'll see what the feedback is. There's certain games where we wouldn't even do this because, like I said, it's very linear. But for the more complex games where there's a lot of options, a lot of things to consider in situational play, then we may end up doing this again. So thanks for watching, and thanks. That's it. Thanks for watching. Cut.